You missed the title. I want to discuss and highlight how we can gain control of our inner experience. I see you guys commenting below. Make today count. In fact, as you guys are typing in on your cell phone devices or maybe your laptop, whatever device you're viewing this broadcast from, what I want you to do right now is comment below, I am a creator. I am a creator. That's what you were born to do. You have that capacity. You have the capabilities to create. Let's make that statement. In fact, let's declare that statement. I am a creator. So to begin the conversation, about a little bit over 10 years ago, when I truly began my personal growth and personal or professional development journey, so to speak, I came across this amazing book. It's a book written by this individual by the name of James Allen. And the title of the book is As a Man Thinketh, a phenomenal book. In fact, I highly suggest and encourage each and every single one of you to download this book. I believe it's free on the internet, right? Or you can purchase it on Amazon. But nonetheless, it's a short read, but it packs a punch, full of amazing insight. James does a wonderful job of breaking down how thoughts become things, right? It's built off the concept, again, as a man thinketh, so is he. How you can think something in your mind and then create it in your life, whether it's good, bad, healthy, unhealthy, right or wrong, no matter what you think, ultimately that's what you're going to produce. But in this book, family, he had a quote that really stuck with me, right? It hit me like a punch as I was reading this book about 10 years ago. And the quote goes like this. He simply said that we're not victims of circumstances. No, we are creators of circumstances. And I thought about this quote for a moment. And as I began to reflect on my life, I started to look at situations that I was experiencing and circumstances that I found myself in. And in some cases, to be honest, it felt as if I was not necessarily to blame for certain situations that I had found myself in, right? I was born into certain conditions or born into certain circumstances, so to speak. But what he's saying and highlighting in this particular quote is that we're not a victim of these circumstances. No, we are creators of circumstances. So again, there may be situations that you're not to blame, but it is your responsibility to rise above those particular situations and conditions. It reminds us, family, of the power that we possess. Comment below, I got the power. And I want you to believe that right now, because maybe somebody tuning into this conversation, you feel as if you are powerless, hopeless, or helpless because of the situation or circumstance that you find yourself in. But it's important for you to stay reminded of the capacity that you have to initiate and create positive changes in your life. Because again, you're not a victim. Let's keep that in mind, family. You can never succeed at anything great as long as you play the role of a victim. You're not a victim of those circumstances that you find yourself in. No, you are a creator of circumstances, meaning you have within you the capacity to initiate the positive changes that you envision for your life. But we have to begin from within. That's where it starts. It's an inside job. As you guys saw the thumbnail, right? Growth is an inside job. You can't wait for someone else to create the change. You have to be the person to build the change, right? You can't wait for situations or circumstances in your life to get better to take that first step. No, you have to initiate that process. A change in your life starts with a change within you, because you are the creator. So I want to remind us, family, of 4 actionable steps that we could begin to take today and every day this week so we can show up effectively and ultimately create the life that we envision. I'm hoping as we step into this week, you've allocated some time and focused on creating goals and establishing your personal objectives and things that you want to experience or accomplish by the end of this week. Let's keep that top of mind as we further along in this conversation. But to begin this particular discussion, it's important for us to understand that your outer world is a direct reflection of your inner world. Comment below, I got to get inside of me right. I got to get inside of me right. What's going on inside of here, you got to get that right. What's happening right here, you've got to get that right. So as we step into this week, okay, this week is full of great opportunities. And like I mentioned at the top of this broadcast, endless possibilities, amazing things that you can experience, growth that can take place, things that you can accomplish, some momentum that you can build towards your vision. This week does not have a shortage of opportunities. No, you just got to position yourself to take advantage of them. And what's going to help us do that are these 4 things. Let's begin with number 1. Comment below, family. Be conscious. Be conscious. D1, what do you mean by be conscious? Be conscious of where you direct your attention. Okay? And what I mean by that is this. Let me put it this way. What you tune into, you turn into. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. If you're focused on the negative, if you're focused on your pain or your problems, that's always going to put you in a state where you feel defeated or, again, hopeless, helpless, and powerless. Be mindful of where you're directing your attention. You want to make sure you're intentional about directing your attention towards the things that you value, your vision, your purpose, your goals. Because again, where your focus goes, your energy is going to flow. I want you to stay reminded of what you want. Don't be distracted by the things that you don't want. Of course, that's going to happen. But be very intentional and diligent about directing your focus towards the things that you're aiming to experience, because what you tune into, you turn into. What's entertaining you is training you, right? So be mindful of what you're watching. Be mindful of what you're consuming. Be mindful of the people that you're surrounding yourself with and the conversations that you're engaging in. Because again, what you tune into, you turn into. That's number 1. Be conscious. Number 2, everybody comment below. Be intentional. Be intentional. D1, what do you mean by be intentional? Kevin, my brother, I'm glad you asked the question because I'm about to give you an answer. I love doing that. Be intentional, because what you do with your time today will determine and dictate what your tomorrow will look like. To break it down even further and go a little deeper, family, it's what you do today that's determining who you become. And who you become will always dictate the quality and the overall direction of your life. So let's break this down. If you're aiming to improve the quality of your life, if you're aiming to change the trajectory of your life, we have to reverse engineer that entire formula and begin with what you do today. Here's a question that I challenge you to ask yourself every single day this week. Is what I'm doing today going to support the life that I'm aiming to create? Is what I'm doing today going to support the life that I'm aiming to experience? Because I can't speak for anybody else, but for me personally, there's been moments and there's been times when I've been busy, but I wasn't productive. There's been moments and there was times when I focused on what seemed to be urgent rather than what seemed to be important, right? And what happened is I put myself in a position where I was busy, but I wasn't making progress towards the things that truly mattered. I wasn't truly intentional. Or in some cases, there were times when I was living my day by default and not by design. And I was running around in circles, right? Or nonetheless, I was like running on a treadmill and I was exhausted by the end of the day, but I didn't build any momentum towards my goals. When I say be intentional, as I mentioned at the top of this conversation, what are your goals for this week? What's your objective that you're aiming to accomplish? Keep that top of mind and ask yourself, what can I do today to shorten the distance between where I am now and where I'm aiming to go? What actionable steps can I take? What knowledge do I need to acquire? What tasks do I need to fulfill to keep me in alignment with the life that I'm aiming to experience? Be intentional. That's number 2. Number 3, and then we'll get to number 4 and take it home. Number 3 is this, family. Be responsible. Comment below. Be responsible. In every sense of the word, responsibility. That's our focus. Now, let me break this down. As we step into this week, let's keep in mind, it's full of great opportunities, new possibilities, things that we could begin to do to advance our life forward, some success that we can create. But keep in mind, as you're progressing towards your goals, This journey will not be absent of challenges. There's going to be difficulties. There's going to be resistance that may try to stop you from building that successful momentum. Life will be lifing. Let's keep it real. Life is going to do what life does, but what we have to learn to do, and this is a daily discipline, is to simply utilize our ability to respond to situations effectively. In fact, respond to situations in ways that keep you in alignment with what it is that you're aiming to experience, your vision, your purpose, and your goals. One thing that you always have, something that no one else can take away from you. No person, no problem, no situation, no condition that you find yourself in, no circumstance that you feel stuck in. Regardless of where you find yourself, there's one freedom that you have. You always have the ability to make a decision. The power of choice. You can always choose what you're going to do. I can't control what happens. Let's keep that real, right? Like what often happens is we try to control things that we can and we get frustrated. We try to control things that we can and we become anxious. We even try to control other people and we find ourselves upset or angry because they're not doing what we expect them to do. Because the truth of the matter is D1 cannot control much. There's only a small portion of things that I can really control, but what I can control is what's happening on the inside of me. I can choose how I feel. I can choose where I place my focus. I can choose the meaning and the interpretation that I attach to my experiences. And I can choose the decisions that I make in any given situation. So ultimately, I'm in control of how I respond to certain situations and circumstances. D1, what are you saying? What I'm saying is this: as you take a step this week, life may get you upset. It may have you feeling some type of way, but you get to decide how you're going to feel about the situation. You may be progressing towards your goals and you get hit with a setback. You get to decide whether you're going to quit or keep moving forward. Leverage your ability to respond, right? That's responsibility, having the ability to respond. But we want to make sure we're responding in ways that keep us in alignment with our vision, our purpose, and our goals. So, quick side note here. It's very important that you make a habit of reminding yourself of what's important to you. Every single morning this week, remind yourself of that vision. Remind yourself of your goals. Remind yourself of your dream. Remind yourself of the life that you're aiming to build. Keep that top of mind. We often stay too reminded of our fears, our doubts, our insecurities. We perpetuate our past in our mind with the story that we're telling ourselves. Let's break that habit and instead stay reminded of what you value and make sure you respond in ways that keep you in alignment with that. That's number 3. Let's do number 4 and take it home, family. I'm hoping we're still there. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, say, I'm still in this, D1. Comment below, I'm still in this, D1. So, real quick recap. Be conscious. That's number 1. Be intentional. That's number 2. Be responsible. That's number 3. And number 4, be driven. I want you to comment below. Be driven. Yeah, you got to be driven. Why do I have to be driven, David? D1, why is it important for me to be driven? Because opportunities are seized by those that know what they want and stay determined to get it. Man, I wish we had time to break this down, but it's Monday morning and we got dreams to catch and success to create, so I'll be brief. But nonetheless, family, opportunities are seized by those individuals that know what they want, right? You've made the conscious decision. This is what I'm going after in life. I'm not compromising. I'm not negotiating with fears. I'm not settling for anything less than what I desire. This is what I want, and I'm determined to get it. I've made up my mind. I'm not settling for anything less than my best. I'm not giving in to my circumstances nor my situations. I'm not perpetuating my past and going back to that negative lifestyle. I'm breaking the cycle, breaking the chains, and I'm going to get what makes me come alive. Staying determined. Family, as you step into this week, again, there's going to be challenges. There's going to be times when you raise your hand for opportunities and nobody calls your name. There's going to be times when you knock on doors expecting an answer, looking and searching for the yes, but you get a no. There's going to be times when you make the attempt and it doesn't work out the way that you initially planned it to. It's in those moments that you got to dig deep and stay determined. Stay determined. I often tell leaders that determination is not just having the desire to win, it's you refusing to fail. And I think this is a challenge for so many of us where because we have experienced some setbacks or we've come face to face with failure, we had temporary moments of defeat, we quit, we throw in the towel. And in some cases, we develop this pattern where we start things and then we stop things. And one week you're working towards this and the next week you're working and moving towards that, right? But the days of us starting and stopping have to end right now. And you've got to muster up some courage to keep pushing and continue to persist until you succeed. And in order to do that, you got to be driven. You got to be driven. Again, I wish we had time to break this down, but ultimately, for me to be driven, I've got to be intellectually involved with what it is that I want, meaning I know specifically what it is that I'm aiming to experience, but that's not enough. I also have to be emotionally invested in it. I've got to connect myself to it emotionally. I've got to fall in love, not just with the end result, but I got to fall in love with the process. Again, I wish we had time to break this down because, Kevin, most people are committed to the end result. But that's not enough, right? We have to be committed to the process because what happens is just because I'm committed to the end result, I may quit when I come face to face with the process and all the steps that I have to take. The ups and the downs, the ebbs and the flows, the trials and tribulations that are necessary for me to get to where I'm aiming to go in life. And because I've only committed myself to the end result, when I don't experience the end result, it's easy for me to bail. But when I'm saying I'm committed to the process, I'm committed for the long haul. And I'm willing to do whatever is necessary to get what it is that I want because I'm driven. I'm connected to this thing. I've associated myself with this thing. I've become one with this thing. I've identified myself as being this. I'm going there. I'm going to experience this. This is what I'm going to create. Again, I wish we had time to break it down, but because time is of the essence, I'll wrap up this conversation by saying this. Family, it's those that control their inner world, those that gain control of their inner experience, that can position themselves to improve the quality of their life. For most people, they're going with the flow. For most people, many people, they're on cruise control, right? Again, they're living their days by default and not by design. We got to move differently. Comment below, I'm built different. I'm built different, right? Maybe historically I've given up on some things, but you know what? This week, I'm going to be conscious. I'm going to be intentional. I'm going to be responsible, and I'm going to be driven. I'm going to disrupt that negative pattern. I'm showing up differently this week. I'm going to break the habit of who I used to be and start becoming everything that I was created to be. I'm going to make sure I gain control of my inner experience so I can position myself to improve the quality of my life. Family, it's important for us to understand as I wrap this up. This week is full of amazing opportunities. And keep this in mind. Maybe somebody needs to hear this because you've lost hope. But I want to remind you that many of those opportunities have your name on them. There's some opportunities out there that nobody else can gain access to but you. But because you're operating in a state of discouragement and disappointment or maybe even fear, you're not taking hold of everything that's got your name on it. Because you're not conscious in every given moment, because you're not intentional, because you're not leveraging your ability to respond, and because you're not staying driven, you're missing out on opportunities to advance your life forward. Who am I talking to this morning? But today, right now, in this very moment, I challenge you, I encourage you to break that pattern, to make a decision. You know what a decision is? That means you make a cut. I'm cutting things off. I'm cutting off this limited mindset. I'm cutting off my fears. I'm cutting off my anxieties. I'm cutting off that negative behavior. I'm cutting off that bad habit that's been sabotaging my growth and success. And what I'm doing today is I'm gaining control of my inner world so I can improve my outer world. Remember, It's an inside job, family. The growth has to happen inside of you before you see it around you. I wish we had time, y'all, but we got to wrap it up. Again, the growth has to happen inside of you before you witness it and visualize it or experience it outside of you. It's all an inside job. If you slid into this broadcast and I was unable to give you a shout out, be sure to comment below. And if, in fact, this is your first time, or maybe it's your first time in a long time, I welcome you and I want to shout you out as well. Put a number 1 in the chat, then place your first name afterward. I'll be sure to shout you out before we do conclude and wrap up this broadcast. But nonetheless, family, if you found value in what we just discussed, let your boy know you were picking up what I was putting down. Put some fist up in the chat below. Let me know that you benefited from this conversation. Yes, Lena, I'm built different. Shalia, I'm built different. Maria, I see you in the building. I will listen to the beginning. Excellent. Mia says, I'm just built different. Isis, I see you. Welcome to the broadcast. Glad to have you tapped in live. I see the fist coming up. Family, if you will, please, since you found value, please share this out with somebody that you care about. Share this out with your network. Whatever platform you're viewing this broadcast on, please share this out. You never know how something that we discussed during this conversation can impact somebody that you're connected to. They may not be able to catch us live, unfortunately, but they can still get the inspiration from the replay. Tell them to join us live next week. We'll be live again, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time next Monday. I see the fist. As a Man Thinketh. Yes, check out that book, James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. Again, I believe you can download it for free on the internet, if I'm not mistaken, but I like physical copies, something tangible to read, highlight, underline, come back to and refer back to. But again, I see the fist coming up. Share this out, family. Also, if we have yet to connect on other social media platforms, what are you waiting for? Connect with your boy. I'm at D1 Gibson on Instagram, Facebook. I got to change that logo, but that stands for X. You know what it is, family. Also, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's where all of my long-form content is available. Check out my small business documentary series and all of my other long-form content there on the YouTube channel. That's at youtube.com/David Gibson. Also, go to elevationIsAmust.com for more information on my speaking and coaching services. If you want more personal growth strategies, tools, and tips, be sure to tap into the online store there. You can purchase my books there and stay connected to my growth newsletter. Again, all of that is available at elevationIsAmust.com. With that being said, family, it's Monday. It's a great day to be alive. As we conclude this broadcast, if you find yourself in a difficult situation or challenging experience, just remember that this too shall pass. Let that sink in for a quick second. I want to talk to that person that's really going through it, that's really struggling in many ways. Your back is up against the wall, and at times you feel like you've hit rock bottom. And right now you're in a position where you don't know how strong you are until strong is the only choice that you have, right? And you have no other choice but to be strong. I want to encourage you to keep pushing, keep pressing, and most importantly, don't make a permanent decision that's based upon a temporary circumstance, because what you are experiencing is not here to stay, it's passing. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. So what I'm saying is this: as it gets rougher, you get tougher. You stay solid. You be convicted that you're going to make it out of this. You're going to rise above this. You continue to hold on to the hope, the faith, and keep believing that greater is on the other side of this. And make sure you take a step every single day. It may not be a leap. You may not be jumping to your next level. You may be crawling, but as long as you're moving, slow motion is better than no motion. You keep moving forward. You may say, D1, it sounds good. It sounds very inspiring, but truthfully, you have no idea what I'm personally facing. I may not know what you're facing. I may not know what you're up against right now. I may not even know you personally. But what I do know is this: whatever stands in front of you and whatever stands behind you, it has nothing compared to the power that's at work on the inside of you. What I need you to do, what the world needs you to do, is to stand up with that power. And I mention the world because you're created for a specific reason. Your life carries meaning. You have a purpose. And what you're going through is going to be something that you grow through. And as you grow through this, you're going to receive value out of that experience where you can now share it with others and impact the lives of those that are going through something similar that you're currently facing. So I want to remind you that this is bigger and greater than you. You cannot afford to give up on yourself, because as you give up on yourself, you're giving up on others that are counting on you to show up. So what I want you to do is to leverage your ability to rise above this challenge. You're going to come out greater, stronger, wiser, and more equipped for your next level if you keep pushing. I don't know who that is for. Whoever it is, take that to heart. Not only take it to heart, but apply it to your life. Keep moving forward. If nobody else tells you that they love you today, remember, family, your brother from another mother, D1 Gibson, has nothing but love to each and every single one of you. So with that being said, family, let's wrap this thing up. You got dreams to catch and success to create, so let's all get busy being great. I appreciate each and every single one of you taking time out of your day to invest and grow with me and watch this broadcast and tune in to today's topic of discussion. I promise to continue to share inspiring messages that help you master your mindset and build momentum towards your goals. With that being said, we'll be back at it 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time next Monday. But until then, family, let's be effective, be successful, live with some passion, and most importantly, be powerful. Thank you again. I'll see you all next week. Peace.
I can see my shot is here, so now I'm gonna take it. Gotta get up, get out, time to stand up, get loud, time to rise up off the floor. And I'm stronger than ever now, can't hold me down no more. I'm waking up, 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 I'm waking up. So I'ma do it right now, yeah, I'ma do it right now.